Okay, let's do it. Before we start simming, we gave up our first round pick again after getting it back. Draft class. No Finns. A Ukrainian expected to go number 1. At least at the start of the season. SHL has no top Finns. The top Finn in the draft is projected to go 36th. Gotta be honest, picked a good year to trade that first round pick. Picked a very good year to give up that first round pick for that new right winger in Consta Hellenis. So we're doing okay. I do want to check our overall rating for the season. And of course, we start off at home against Dallas. So I got to take the webcam down for a second so you guys can see these. 90, 83, and a 76, which is apparently dead even with Dallas in every regard. So, I mean, if Dallas is doing all right, then we should do all right. Right? That's how the logic works. Please. Draft a Ukrainian. I wish we could. I wish we could. All right. 2028-29. We're going to go to January 1st this time as opposed to December 1st and see where things stand, unless it's just proving to be an outright disaster, which it might. Why is the alt red and orange? To match the color of the Finnish coat of arms. Because I wanted an alternate that wasn't a different shade of blue. We have so much blue on this team to begin with. Urnin, neck strain, out already. Mr. Hirvonen, congratulations, you are back. It's actually red and gold as opposed to red and orange. Cody, take it easy, buddy. Catch you later. Appreciate you hanging out as always. Cool. Good to go. Let's keep marching. Let's keep marching. You didn't alt all blue. We could change it. We could change it at the end of the season, if need be.
I'm just trying to walk through this fucking...
Shout out to Alpha. Appreciate the follow. Yeah, I don't know. Even that current road jersey, I'm not certain. You know, the one that we kind of fixed up really quickly because the other one wasn't working as well as I wanted. Oh man, we got some injuries going on in the AHL, and the NHL team's not exactly firing on all cylinders here. Not at all. We'll see what's wrong on December 1st instead of January. All right, make that December 2nd. 9-14-2, our worst start to a season in a while. Make that December 3rd. Pettinen, 21-25 is not bad, but a -3. 21 for Aho and 21 for Varakis, but they are getting beat 5-on-5. 15 points for Rene, only 10 for Ratu, 16 for Hellenis. Maselli, 8 points, 9 points for Kapari, 5 for Kasper Haltinen. Jesus. Yeah, some things have to change. And the fourth line has been absolutely... God. What's the goaltending look like? 894 for Vinny, 896 for Marilainen. Fuck. This is not going nearly as well as I was hoping. Eustace has a 941. Luukkonen. All right. Well, these two are crushing the AHL. Vinny and Marilainen go down. Vinny can't be claimed on waivers. Marilainen can, but is not. Defensively. Sorry, I'm looking around my office for a white flag. Billy Hanela, cashes out and stops trying. Kivy with 19 points. I don't know what to do at this point. I'll be completely honest with you. We've gone through virtually every player we could use. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. I shouldn't, but I'm going to. We'll go to January as intended. Different goaltending. It's a chance for people to try to figure it out a little bit. Never mind the blue, make an all-white flag jersey. Yeah, we're still losing hand over fist here. We might have to turn this into like an outright draft of glory at this point. Yeah, Eustace has mightily struggled since getting called up. We have a bunch of AHL caliber goalies, basically. It's getting worse. Significantly worse. Yeah, I mean, the biggest names are untouchable for us right now. But we've still had consistently good rosters. This is still a pretty damn good roster, but they are dead in the water. It's the only way to put it. What a song to be playing right now, by the way. Message in a bottle. We are going to fire our NHL goalie coach. We are going to demote Goodrow to goalie coach, and Joe Pavelski is the new head coach of this team. Welcome in Joe Pavelski as our new head coach. It's one of the few things I can change right now. We know he had good chemistry with the team. Just he had a lower grade. So we'll bring on Joe. There's obviously plenty of personnel changes we can make. With the change for Pavelski, we'll get the team back to exactly as we want it. And if by February 1st we haven't experienced a little bit of a turnaround, we're going to be looking at blowing this up. And we've lost 4 in a row to start the month. And just gave up 17 goals over the course of 2 games. And there's no great player in the upcoming draft. 18, 26, and 6. Complete garbage for no reason whatsoever. You know, there might be some legitimacy in just chalking this season up as a fluke as well. Honestly. It might be worth approaching that. You know, knowing that Heiskanen could end up being a free agent next year. Disaster, man. Absolute disaster. Pending free agents. I think Heiskanen re-signed. I'm pretty sure Dallas re-signed Miro Heiskanen. Well, chat. The Curse of the Nations series continues. We always have the worst luck in challenges like this. It's genuinely astonishing. Let's start moving around some personnel here. Kevin Lankinen, welcome to the team, and you're going to play with Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen at the NHL level. What the hell, who the hell do we even trade Ville Heinola for? Kivi's been good. Honka honestly hasn't been that bad, but a minus 15? Move it to Norway and draft Swedes, right? Heinola's on the chopping block with that $15 million contract. Hamasami hasn't been that bad. Karku and Topi Niemela have been trash, but I mean, they're third pairing guys. We can swap them out. Let's go best lines for the moment. Upcoming expiring contracts. Kivi, Varakis, Hellenis, Ratu. Ratu's only going to want about 5 mil. He hasn't exactly been crushing it this season. Gotta be honest, is he even worth 5 mil? I don't know if he is. I think we really look at blowing this sumbitch up. I think we wait until the deadline because we can just continue to be fucking terrible. But yeah, I think this team is about ready to move on to different things. Tuomala, you've been trash. We'll go with Koivunen. Left wing side, Urinen, you've been trash. I'm going to get Vestorine in that spot. And then center, Hellenis has been terrible. We'll go with Sarela. Notice that none of the guys, even the ones that probably should have been claimed on waivers, were, because they're terrible. How's Ronnie Hirvonen done since playing? He's been ineffective. Call it what you will. Oh, man. I cannot believe this team was this bad. Can't believe it. It's inexcusable for this team to have been this bad. Maselli hasn't been that bad. I think we might have to move on from Kasper Halttunen. Kapari, I mean, that third line in general just hasn't worked. Like I said, we're gonna wait for the trade deadline. Hopefully some player values will be a bit higher. Hopefully some teams will be willing to part with some higher assets. Obviously, we're going to have to try to find out. Yeah, Nations United Scandinavia is probably the Nordics at the very least. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out, like, do we want to make a play for, like, Rupe Hintz? Do we want to make a play for one of the big guns with how many guys we're possibly going to get rid of? Again, we don't have our first round pick this year, second or third. We do still have some seconds and thirds to move on from. But it's a god-awful record. We are going to be listing ourselves as sellers. Anton Lundell is back on the block for Los Angeles. Go figure. Which is exactly what I thought might happen. I mean, we could bring him back on a discounted price, but who the fuck cares? If he's a free agent, we'll bring him in, but otherwise, what the hell is the point? So again, you know, your big teams with Finns, Colorado with Rantanen, but he's way too expensive. Rupe Hintz is 32, but still represents one of our best options for a potential pickup. feel like I'm really forgetting anybody here as we scroll through this. Tampa Bay has Hatanen. That's really about it. Everybody else we've already tried. So Ville Heinola, in case you have to go. Like, even if I keep you, if your overall drops, it would be a disaster. Ville Heinola has to go right now. And Rupe Hintz is going to be the target. You could argue Heiskanen, but his value is higher than you would think. Although, if we try to go for both, they brought in Arturi Lehkonen. He's actually been pretty good for them. If we try to pull off a goddamn blockbuster, could we do it? I don't think we could. Hellenis has been all right for us. Pettinen, Varakis. We know Ratu probably has to go. He's not going to be worth the money. It's going to be way too fucking much. I mean, again, they don't want to get rid of Heiskanen anyway. The Heiskanen dream, I got to stop fooling myself. Like, that's just not going to happen. So yeah, Heinola for Hintz straight up isn't enough. We are actually going to have to take back Arturi Lehkonen to try and make that happen, which will cut into the return a little bit. And we'll safety net this with draft picks. Heinola for Hintz, Lehkonen, a second and 2/3. Doesn't go through. Heinola, I hate to do this, buddy, but it's got to happen. You're playing that bad on a $15 million contract the first year after you sign it. Massive regression. If his overall drops, his value drops even more. It's time for him to go. We'll pick up Rupe Hintz, Arturi Lehkonen, and 2 picks. And we'll move him to Dallas. Never wanted to do that. It's insane he developed the way he did into a player of that caliber. But we do what we have to do. Amasami hasn't been very good, but he was playing next to our now departed friend. Hopefully we have enough defenders to actually play an NHL option. Rakas, Hellenis can stay. We're probably going to move on from Maselli. Let's go to the trade finder for this. These next couple. Maybe more than a couple, I'm not sure. Yeah, Maselli hasn't been great. Second round pick from Boston, 2/3 from Chicago, 2/3 from New Jersey. I mean, obviously a second round pick. We have to take on a guy that I can't technically play though. So we'll take the 2 third-rounders from Chicago because again, they haven't been very good lately. So Maselli, his trial run here did not work out very well. We pick Arturi Lehkonen back up. I'm not sure if I'm even going to want to keep him. So if we consider the lines, I think I know what I want to do. But if we consider the forward lines here, we obviously have Aho, Hellenis on the right, Pettinen on the left. We do have a lot of guys who can play a couple of different spots, which helps quite a bit as we try to figure out just what the hell this team looks like for the rest of the season. I think Rasmus Kupari is probably gone as well. So Hintz, Varakis, Rene. Ratu's got to go. Expiring contract. He's worth that much. He's going to be a third-line center for us. We got to cash out on his value. 2 seconds from Calgary, including our own back. 2 seconds from the Rangers. Again, for players we can't use, but for Calgary, it makes sense. Then we could just cut Henry Thrun or flip him. I think we're going to be sending Ratu out to Calgary. And honestly, instead of the Henry Thrun deal, let's... well, we have to take on somebody. Okay. Fuck it. Let's just hit back and do it again this way, because Flames fans are shouting out a New Jersey offer that... I don't want that guy, because, again, he's not finished. We can't keep him full-time. So we'll take that deal. Ratu out to Calgary. He had to go. Which means presumably Hintz, Rinne, Varakis, which leaves Haltinen, Lehkonen, Kapari as a third line. I still want Haltinen to develop. He's young enough that we can hope he turns it around. So maybe we keep that third line intact. It's not as if Rasmus Kapari has a ton of value either, but to be honest, we could bring up Inkinen and just play him. So can I get anything for Rasmus Kapari? Kilhoma should be a Finn. Let's look at this guy. Kilhoma 22 and only a 66. He's trash. Hate to say it, but he's not very good. Not very good at all. So back to Rasmus Kapari. 2/3, a second from Columbus, but a prospect that we don't need. So 2/3 right now is still the going rate. A second and a third from Minnesota and New Jersey. Ottawa as well. Toronto. We will take it from Minnesota as a Western Conference team. So a second and a third for Kapari is tremendous business for us. Is there anybody else that it makes sense to move out? Tukio can get called up. Can I move Henry Thrun for anything at all? Third round. Jesus Christ, third round pick from Chicago. We're going all in on Chicago's draft picks. Technically, it's Florida's, though, but still. Okay. I don't think there's too much else we can really flip here. Unless we wanted to move Arturi Lehkonen. It depends on the value of the deal. Second and a third's not bad at all. 2/3 from Colorado. 2 seconds from New Jersey. It was 2/3 from Colorado. Yeah, 2 seconds from New Jersey. And we'll take on that prospect and flip him out. So Lehkonen off to the Devils. Was that guy a winger? He is. Can I move this guy for anything? An unsigned dude from Montreal, and that way we can just cut him, so that's perfect. And then at center, Inkinen and Haltinen. Obviously, now you start to wonder about Hintz, Aho. But I think we're good there. We own the vast majority of the second and third round this year, with very few prospects to actually be able to pick. So that sucks. But I think we leave this core intact for the moment. There's no reason to rush to trade Rupe Hintz or Sebastian Aho. I think we're good for now. So we make a decent amount of room to call up quite a few veterans. Or not quite a few veterans. We already have quite a few veterans. P.O. Joseph is now a Maple Leaf. That's a great deal for them. Cannot claim Poltapov. We make room to call up quite a few of our young players to try and just get some NHL playing time. Goalie-wise, it's a fucking nightmare, but we'll stick with those two. Left side, Kivy, Kolkinen, and Risto will get the call up. Who has your first? Calgary. But again, there's no one we can use with the pick anyway, so it doesn't hurt as much. Yeah, Putio can play over Topi Niemela, who's been terrible. Honestly, even with Putio, screw him. Call up Tukio, the younger option. And we'll go with a really young defense here. doesn't really matter who plays that final right wing spot. Koivunen, hit or miss so far. The Sinan's 26. Nurmi is 23. Flames got the first in a trade via offer sheet. Sorella hasn't done much. Again, I want to make sure. The younger players on the roster, so Jasper Inkinen, Emil Järventie. Topi Roni's 24 at this point. Kaskamaki's 25. I do at least want those two on the roster. Nurmi's 23. I'd like him on the roster too. I just don't know if we can make it work technically. But let's find out. Let's try to get a lot of the kids onto the NHL lineup. Into the NHL lineup. And we will take it from there. So Nurmi in for Koivunen. And then Sorella can be out for Järventie. So do we have a natural fit for right wing? Vestorinen. That works for me. All right, that's looking okay. Yeah, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Unless Pistola's been absolutely shit. Urinen at 23, you know what? He was terrible earlier this year. At this point, we're not looking for great performances. So, Koivunen, Hirvonen, Sorella. We'll call up Urinen. No one's going to get claimed on waivers because they're all terrible. Go best lines in the AHL. Don't really have to care about the AHL lines. They should be good no matter what. And take out Pistola for Nurmi. So Nurmi be on the left. We got to make that switch. So Urinen, Järventie, Vestorinen, Nurmi, Inkinen, Halttunen. We'll stick with Pettinen, Hintz, Varakis, Rinne, Aho, and Consta Hellenis. Defense. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, pretty straightforward. We'll try to shelter Ristolainen and Tukio as much as we can. And then the goaltending stays. So let's finish up what has been a nightmare season. This is our worst season in a while. It really is. And again, it's not even, it wasn't intentional by any means, and it's not even a great year to actually be bad. Again, there are no great players for us to pick up in this draft. The top-rated Finn was projected in the second round. And unfortunately, even with these changes, the team, for the most part, still not doing that well. They're starting to click a little bit now. We had a coaching change this season. Just for whatever reason, it has not worked. Vestorinen out with a knee injury. Anthony Honka suffers a concussion. That's great. Oh, Putio, congratulations. You get called up after all. I'm in Lamp. I'm banking on it being unfortunate. That's why the likes of Aho are still here and why I didn't immediately get rid of, like, Rupe Hintz. Like, that is the hope, is that it's a bit fluky. The problem is there's a chance that it's not. But I do still think we're pretty well future-proof. But, yeah, I mean, we got to win one of our last 4 games to hit 30 wins. Storinen's healthy. We'll get him back in there. There you go, Mr. Rupe. And we have won 2 in a row to start the month. So, at least 31 wins. Gonna get Honka back into. Morale's not on, but I feel like players can still get pissed from time to time. We beat Philadelphia. We win our final 4 games of the season, but are nowhere near the playoffs at 33, 40, and 9. So remember when I said we get the playoffs tonight? I lied. That's a very disappointing season. We missed out on, well, a top 3 spot by 25 points. Lowest wild card was on 99 points. We were nowhere close. as we finished 27th in the league. So congratulations to Calgary for having a high lottery pick. 234 goals for. Our offense was mid-table. Goals against, we had the 5th most in the league. So it was just a complete and utter collapse from our defense and goaltending yet again. 76 points for Aho, 74 for Rupe Hintz. He had 26 and 19 on this team, so he was fantastic. Dare I say fantastic. Rasmus Rene, 54 points. Subs in perfectly for Ratu, for guys like that we've had, for Lundell. Haltonen is heading towards bust territory. I know he's an 85, but what a brutal season for him. Järventie, Inkinen were not ready, but hey, give him a shot. Only 56 points for Petri Pettinen. This guy has not turned into an elite playmaker, and I'm furious. There is no excuse for this guy to not be an offensive stud, yet he's not. Ernan was terrible. Vestarinen, Nurmi, a lot of our young guys really, really struggled. 65 points but 43 goals for Ville Varakis and 52 points for Consta Hellenis. So, I mean, basically, he was a lateral movement from Capo Caco. It's just that he's younger. Can't wait for NHL 24. Me either. 67 points for Kivi Haryus. Certainly not bad. Honk on 34, and then obviously the defense, you know, it is what it is. And then goalie-wise, we tried so many, and Kevin Lankinen proved to be the best one. Disaster. Disaster for the Finns. As David Pastrnak led the league in points, Bedard and Matthews, the only other two to hit at least 100 points. Top goal scorer, Connor Bedard with 73. Pasta had 68. And then Matthews and McDavid both broke 50 as well. Defensively, you would have seen it, but Rasmus Sandin broke the game with 98 assists. The fuck? Again, the new power play and stuff like that, it just makes this game insane. 29 goals for Dougie Hamilton, by the way. Goaltenders, the winningest Anton Forsberg in Washington. Shutout leader with 8, Sebastian Cossa and Andrei Vasilevsky, who's now a Blue Jacket. And save percentage leader, Ilya Sorokin. Although Kosa might end up winning the Vezina, but it's likely going to Sorokin. Top rookie with 56 points, Rene Leclerc will win it over Beekoff, especially because look at the plus minuses of everyone else. This game cares about plus minus a lot, so Rene Leclerc will be the rookie of the year. And thus, here we are. And thus... here we are. What else is there to be said? I guess that the AHL team won 58 games and are going to the postseason. That's cool. But that was our worst calendar year to date. Like, we've had moments where it's like, all right, we don't have too many players to draft, and it's the early stages, and we have like Rasmus Ristolainen on our defense. But there's nobody to draft. Meanwhile, there is a Ukrainian franchise-level player that I am not allowed to draft. I forgot just how much of a nightmare these challenges can be. Wow, he's a franchise... He's Patrice Bergeron. He's a franchise level 2-way forward. Again, the top Finns in this draft. You might have someone decent in Mika Luovara. And then in Liga, okay, there is a goalie, Sami Rask. Okay, there is finally a good goalie, though. Jesus. That helps a lot. And there's also a low elite, Esa Pekarainen. Was a long shot. Yeah, son of Tuukka. It's what I needed. Tuukka bless. It's at least not completely barren. We're obviously going to have to trade a lot of those picks. We're going to have to trade a lot of those picks. This is going to be a weird one, man. We'll follow the AHL team, the Tentaskills, former Calder Cup champions, trying to get back to the top of the mountain. A 1-1 split. Make it 2-1 in the opening round against the Syracuse Crunch. 3-1. Going to game number 6 now. And they win the series in 6. So the Tampere Tentaskills moving on to round number 2. It's another showdown with the Cleveland Monsters. They have been monsters, but we're up 2-0. Make that 3-0 in the series, and the Tentaskills pull off the sweep. They're going back to the Eastern Conference Finals in the AHL. Well, they will take on the Bridgeport Sound Tigers, because I don't want to call them by their new name, because it's fucking stupid. As they lose game 1 and game 2, outscored 8-1 in the series so far, and oh my god. And the Bridgeport Islanders sweep them. There is a constant theme of the second to the millisecond that I get the tiniest bit of hope with this franchise. It drags that hope out of me and beats me over the head with it. The Buffalo Sabres win the Stanley Cup. Who'd they beat in the final? The Minnesota Wild in 5 games. Florida into the conference final. And of course, you would have saw the Bridgeport ended up winning it all over the San Diego Gulls in the Battle of Blue and Orange. Buffalo, we know they are insane because we've run into them before. And Rasmus Dahlin, very likely... I would say very likely just won the Conn Smythe. Tristan Jarry. I don't know why he's the cheat code, but he is. Sabres win it. Award winners. Pasternak wins the Art Ross. Santine won the Hart and the Norris and the Bing. Calder does go to LeClaire as expected. Dahlin wins the Conn Smythe. Sorokin the Vezina. Logan Cooley wins a consecutive Selke. Santine won the Ted Lindsay. And Bedard wins another Rocket Richard. AHL-wise, not going to have too many familiar names at this point. Soda! Endo better be here for that. If he's not, we're not friends anymore. Son of a bitch. Yeah, Philip Johansson as Defenseman of the Year. Former member of this organization, Jatkola, winning goaltender of the season. Son of a bitch. Well, time to go send that screenshot to Endo. Well, that's the one highlight. Is a funny name because not much else went our way.